This is going to be a lesson on the handy model of the brain, and this comes to us from Dr. Dan Siegel. It's basically a super short neuroscience background about the brain. I'm going to talk about it as if there's only one side of the brain, but actually, obviously, we have two sides of the brain. Take out your hand. Left or right, doesn't matter. And way on the inside, if you tap right in there, this represents, this little dot, your hippocampus. And the primary function of your hippocampus is memory. So go ahead and just tap on your forehead. Memory. Memory. Hippocampus. That's where we store our short and long-term memory. Okay? The information that we want to remember. So like all of our facts, our math facts, our spelling words, all the things that we're going to remember for our MCA tests and our ACTs are going in there. And then fold over your thumb, and that is our amygdala. Our amygdala. And I also call it our watchdog. It's our watchdog. It's a very old part of our brain. It protects us from the white saber-toothed tigers in the jungle because we don't come across those very often, right? It's the fight, flight, freeze, or faint response in our brain that is going to protect us for anything that comes at us, okay? Go ahead and fold over your fingers, okay? We're going to talk about this last fingertip on down, okay? That represents our prefrontal cortex, okay? Right behind our forehead. The very last part of our brain that's developed. In fact, latest research tells us for women, that part of our brain is developed between the ages of 22 and 25. Actually, it starts just after birth, but it finishes development in the average typical person between the ages of 22 and 25 for women. And in men, that baby doesn't get done developing until the ages between 25 and 32. So guess what? That's typically long after you've been in education, at least in high school and elementary school and middle school and early childhood. So it takes quite a bit for that brain to get done developing. The primary functions of the prefrontal cortex are very important to us as educators and parents because that's where our decision making comes into play, and our reasoning, our judgment, our thinking, our ability to organize information, and it's where we regulate our emotions. So when we get really anxious, really excited, really angry, that's where we're able to calm down or regulate and then think, or regulate and then make decisions, or regulate and then decide what we're going to do, make a plan, and chillax, right? So it's a very important part of our brain that doesn't get done developing till much later in life, okay? So here's how it rolls out in life. Watchdog keeps us safe. Looking for white saber-toothed tigers out in the jungle, in our classroom, in our homes, on the bus, behind the wheel. And then it barks. When something stressful happens, we flip our lid, and guess what happens? We can't think because we can't access our prefrontal cortex. It's hard to think, it's hard to function, it's hard to make decisions, it's hard to regulate our emotions, and it's hard to remember. And guess what happens? Everyone wants to ask us, why? Why'd you do that? And sometimes we say, I don't know why I did that. I'm going to give you an example. When I was going to train a bunch of your teachers and your principals, I had a big computer presentation. And then all of a sudden, I got it all plugged in. I spent so much time preparing, and the blue screen of death happened. All my technology froze. and my amygdala fired, my watchdog barked, and I flipped my lid, just like Dr. Dan Siegel said I would. And I couldn't think, and I couldn't remember. And my helper got the tech person to come help me. And I was meditating with a group of staff, and the tech person came in and she said, "Mary T, what's your password?" And I said, "What?" Now, you remember, because I just told you this, where would have I stored my password? In my long-term memory, right? In my hippocampus. But guess what? I said, "I don't know." She's like, "Mary T, tell me your password." I don't know. She could tell I flipped my lid. Not only could I not think, I couldn't organize the information, and I couldn't even access my hippocampus. I couldn't get out information that I knew by heart, that I plugged in every single day by memory, by automatic, because I was so stressed out. That's what we call glitter in the ball, right? That's when we flip our lid. That's what happens to students and adults every single day. And what can help? Try it with me now. Let's do 3 breaths. Ready? Glitter in the ball. What do you notice? 3 short breaths. 3 breaths. My glitter settles. I pet my watchdog. Things get clear. When things get clear, my muscles relax. My teeth become unclenched. My amygdala is relaxed. I re-engage that prefrontal cortex. I can access things in my hippocampus. And guess what? I now remember and can organize my thoughts, and I know my password. That's the premise of the brain. Thanks.